That's right. You only need 60 euros, at least in my case, to buy a Samsung S10 Plus. While, yes, it was a little damaged, it works perfectly fine. See? S10 Plus doesn't have the most storage in the world. That's true. 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM. However, it has something my phone and many flagship phones of now don't have, and that is micro SD card support. Look at this beauty. This phone supports up to a half a terabyte SD card, which, I mean, if you wanted that nowadays, you just have to pay more. And removing files from your phone also takes a lot longer. Now, if it ain't obvious, removing the micro SD card from phones was the stupidest thing that has ever happened to them, other than the removal of the good old headphone jack. Well, it is true, the headphone jack was forcefully shunted out, sent out into the wilderness of might have it instead of, yeah, it'll probably have it. It's very usual to have one. But nowadays, it's went from, oh, it's common to see it, to it's uncommon to see it. Like, even I'm like, oh wow, this has a headphone jack? Instead of being like, oh, it has a headphone jack. Mine does too. Mine doesn't. It started with the Samsung S20. The first phone to ever not have it is this. The iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. They were like, nah, you don't need a headphone jack, so we're just gonna remove it. And then, clearly, every other brand started following them because they know everything. It's a dumb trend. Same goes for the SD card. One company removed it, aka Samsung for example, they removed it with the S21 series, S22 series, S23 series, and I doubt it'll come back with the S24 series, which sucks. Now, apart from that little rant, which I'll delve into a lot more in a different video, the S10 Plus that I bought clearly is not perfect. It's got a little bit of... It's got a damaged display, and the glass on the bottom right is also a little damaged. However, it works perfectly fine. I haven't had any problems with the touchscreen. The seller was an honest guy. He even had a picture of there's like a little secret debug menu where you can test out specific phone features. This person that I bought this from actually went into that menu and showed, yeah, touchscreen works just fine. And I'm like, yeah, so it's not only is it an honest seller, they know what they're selling. This phone was originally selling for 65 euros. I was like, will you take 60 for him? He was like, sure. It's only 5 euros off, to be fair. So it wasn't really much of a debate. It was just like a done and done, It's got 3 rear cameras, 2 front cameras, a gorgeous display, even by today's standards. It's really nice. Only problem is, 60 hertz, but that shouldn't really be a problem if, you need a secondary phone, like I did. Or just, you need a backup phone if your phone ever breaks, or you just need something, to take with you, or to give to the teachers to think, oh yeah, this is my phone, teachers, trust me, yeah. Not only did I get the phone, oh yeah, they're the USB-C port, which I cleaned, luckily, so I can plug in everything just fine. It also came with a case, wallet case, as you can tell, but it's not just any wallet case. It's Samsung smart wallet case, which I don't have for my phone, and I probably am wrong, so don't quote me on this. I don't think they make them anymore. But yeah, this is one of those smart cases, which I will never understand why it became a thing. But hey, it protects the phone, the sides are hard, so is the back. Kind of. But this is also very hard. Or not. Ow. But yeah, it does just slide it in. Doesn't offer the best protection compared to a normal case. Like this case I bought for less than 2 euros. Does a better job. than this one. Yeah, but hey, look at the good part. If you plug it in and want to take it out of the case, which is already pretty hard to do in my opinion, or not apparently. I guess I did it correctly that time. You don't need to unplug it, pull it out of the case, plug it back in. You can just do it while it's still charging. So I guess that's a plus. But why did I buy a phone for less than 100 euros? Not like a couple hundred maybe, just in case if I really need to go back to an older phone, you know, because I somehow broke this one, which would be terrible to be fair. Why not? I mean, seriously, I already have so many phones. Like, come on, I'm not gonna spend a bunch of money on another one. I'm gonna spend a little bit of money. This is a tablet, but you get my point. Yeah, I just needed something that was still, you know, not too old. Like, yeah, it's 4 years now from 2019. It's gonna hit 5 years soon enough. You know, like a couple of months. But the screen looks amazing. That OLED display still pulls, and by the looks of it, there is no burn-in damage, well, except for these dead pixels, but that doesn't matter. USB-C, very appreciated. Headphone jack, pretty nice. Dolby Atmos sound. Doesn't sound too bad actually. I'm watching movies on it. Was a breeze. HBO Max runs like it should. Using YouTube and Discord, for example, that was a blast. It just ran like nothing, because 8 gigabytes of RAM is a lot of RAM. Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about this phone. It's great, especially if you get it for a very good price. I would aim for like a, you know, this was like luck, because all the other phones cost more than this one. If you want to get an S10 Plus, probably not with a case, but who knows, if you buy from a local seller, you might. I would aim under 200, like 100 to 200 euros, or maybe even dollars, sure, because they're pretty similar nowadays. But yeah, would definitely recommend picking up this phone, for especially for a kid. You know, your son or your daughter wants a new phone, well, their first ever phone. They're like what, 12, 13 years old. Like, you pick this up, they will probably love it. Like, seriously, 3 cameras, ultra wide, 2x zoom, and a main camera, all still pull very well. The only downside is probably the front camera. Like, the rear cameras, they still make really good photos. Like, sure, in the dark it gets noisy and grainy, but that's with all cameras eventually. But yeah, front camera, definitely not as good as it used to be. I mean, actually, it's not that bad. Oh yeah, and good lighting it can pull, but for some reason I look like a drug addict. On this camera I just look like a teenager that is obsessed with phones, but on this one I look like a drug dealer. So let me take a picture, because funny, I don't know. But yeah, pretty good phone. I would definitely recommend it, especially if you need a backup phone, or your child wants a phone, or hey, let's say maybe even your grandparents want to get into phones, you know, because they're tired of their good old keyboard. But, you know, my grandma, for example, this was the phone she was using. She didn't like it, because she's not used to it. She loved her iPad way more, because, I mean, phones are hard, to be fair. They are. They're a much smaller interface than iPads. iPads have, like, huge screen. So does this Android tablet by Samsung. Way bigger screen, way easier to understand, which means text is bigger and all the icons are bigger, so it's easier for them to understand. You know, they're not young anymore. You have to assist them every way you can. But this is a good buy. Sure, there's no more security updates, there's no more software updates, so you have to be a bit more careful. Samsung Internet for some reason doesn't work, but Chrome works just fine for me. So that was confusing. I tried to go on Samsung Internet to search for something. It was loading. Nothing. And yes, it was the newest version. It didn't work, so I just uninstalled it and decided to use Chrome instead. And guess what? It works just fine. Chrome just worked just fine. Samsung Internet didn't. So I guess, yeah, that's that. Samsung apps just decide to break for some reason. Maybe it's probably on purpose. Who knows? Could definitely be on purpose because it's like old phone. You know, you don't need to use it anymore. Let me just tink, break the app. But hey, Google still works. So, what did we learn from this video? Not all phones are truly old. Sure, they get old. I mean, but this still performs really well. It's the Exynos version, which means if you're, if you like being handsy with your technology or with your stuff at least, and like doing stuff yourself, you can actually put a custom ROM on this phone because it uses an unlocked bootloader, unlike the Snapdragon version, which has a locked bootloader, which was a surprise when I heard it. But a phone I would definitely steer away from, the S6 Edge Plus. Android 7 versus, Android 12. Big difference. Sure, this one was like 20, 30 bucks. This is 60. And it's just way less cracked too. So, definitely buy this one instead. I mean, seriously. It's just the minor difference in price. It may not seem like a lot, 30 bucks, 40 bucks. But it's a big difference, trust me. It is a huge difference because S6 was made in 2015 and the S10 was made in 2019. And it's also a Plus model. It's got a lot more storage, a lot more RAM, double the RAM, 4 times more storage. Screen is a lot brighter, a lot better. It's bigger too, so it means cooling is way better. And it doesn't lag, because even though it has Android 12, well, this one's stuck at Android 7. Which means you can't even run the McDonald's app, which requires Android 8. So, steer clear of very old phones. If you want to buy a Samsung phone, don't go below the Note 10 series and Note S10 series. If you're just starting out, something like this would be a perfect way to, ease into the ecosystem. Don't buy something top tier. Or even better, maybe go to a mall near you, Samsung's store near you. That would be way better. You can actually check out the device, like their current flagships. You can check them out at the store. Maybe even a foldable if you're into that. Where you were like skeptical if you really are digging that style, and you are ready to accept the responsibility of being extra careful with them. But yeah, that's I think that's it for this video. S10 Plus, still a pretty good phone. I would definitely. Yeah, maybe I'll use it for a week. Just like with the iPhone. Who knows? I might. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to watch any other of my videos because that would be very much appreciated. And yeah. I really hope you enjoyed this video and this monologue of me just rambling about this phone. So, I don't know what to tell you. That's the end of the video. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again sometime. Peace.